they're going to be at work at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Monday.
Pardon me, man, for all the 9 to 5ers out there. Sorry.
Just saying. I mean, you and I, we have the luxury of just, this is what we do here, but some people don't have that luxury. So
I know.
they'll just have to watch us on their phones, from work, right? Take a break and just
that's it.
Well, I was gonna say, what's more important? What you're doing at work or watching us?
I would say watching us at
Absolutely.
work. At work,
of course. Right. So you get paid, but you're watching us.
Yeah.
So it's the best of both worlds. Just don't get caught.
Don't worry. You need a note to go to the boss. I'll write it for you. Don't worry.
There you go.
Becky Lynch. She is making a return to Monday Night Raw. This is coming from PW Insider. She is on hiatus right now from the company. Sources within WWE have told PW Insider that Becky Lynch is expected back for the Raw premiere on Netflix. That would mean that both WWE and Becky Lynch are close to or have already made a deal to a new agreement. Lynch has been off TV for months after her WWE deal expired earlier this year. For what it's worth, Lynch's first public appearance since her WWE exit was set this past weekend in Los Angeles, where she did talk about her new memoir. The promotional material for the book went out, and the last line in the statement was, and maybe Becky Lynch will give us a glimpse as to what the man has in store for us next. So that happened, and man, it's going to be a great coup for the women's division to get, hopefully, Becky back, Asuka back. Rhea Ripley's got the Cody Rhodes dashing mask on now. So Monday Night Raw's women's division is going to be a lot stronger come January than they are now looking at November.
Yeah, on the SmackDown side, Charlotte Flair should be back imminently. And, she's a big name. So that's going to be a big name for them to get back. Jordynne Grace, in my opinion, not a doubt in my mind, she's WWE bound early next year, and I think she's bound for the main roster because I would just rocket her to Raw or SmackDown. So wherever you drop her, that's only going to enhance the division even more. And then think of all the women they have that are ready right now in the pipeline in NXT. You don't even have to wait for the draft. Both these shows are going 3 hours, which is the belief, starting in January, Raw and SmackDown. They're going to need a few new faces. So you may see a couple of NXT call-ups to the women's division on either show.
Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade. I love to see Sol Ruca on the main roster. Just a couple.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Becky Lynch coming back to Monday night. She is expected back on January 6th. Couple of other news and notes here. Bobby Roode was at the WWE headquarters last week. Roode is getting a ton of praise in his role since stepping up and WWE main events. This is glorious Bobby Roode, by the way. Filling the role of Michael Hayes. Hayes has been taking time off to deal with a personal issue, which has been said to be medical in nature. And PW Insider states that Hayes is expected back sooner rather than later. So good on that. I know he's a big proponent in those Roman Reigns Bloodline segments, and he produces Roman's matches most of the time when they're on PLE. But good for Bobby Roode. I wish we got a proper, glorious Bobby Roode run, but Vince ruined that for all of us, and now he is, he sits in WWE with a new lease on life, and he's finding a new niche for himself, so good for him, man. I do miss him, but as long as he's still there and comfortable and happy, that's all that matters to me, and then we'll get Michael Hayes back, which is a win-win situation. Street Profits. This is what we did not talk about come Friday when we talked about the SmackDown discussion earlier in the show. Street Profits, there was a lot of news about the Profits either leaving the WWE or splitting the Profits up and giving Montez his own singles run, which a lot of people are clamoring for. This was also addressed by PW Insider, and Mike Johnson says that the team are currently locked into deals with WWE, and it's likely the statements were to garner attention that they made previously, garner attention more than anything else. PW Insider is told that Montez has been working on some outside projects as of late, and right now there is no belief internally that he or Angelo Dawkins are leaving the company. I don't think anybody really thought that they were leaving the company to go to AEW for what? I don't know.
Yeah, no.
But Montez, I know a lot of people want him to be a singles. I know you talked about that extensively for him being a single star. What that would mean for the Street Profits and Angelo Dawkins, I don't know. But what we got on Friday night, Jason, is a little bit of a tweak to their character potentially. I know they're showing a little bit more of an aggressive side, so they may be They may be going kind of tweener potentially, or maybe full-blown heel. I don't really know the direction that they're going in, but it's absolutely needed for both of those guys.
Yeah, one of the things that Montez Ford has been doing, I mean, he's signed up to Paradigm, which is, I think, under the Endeavor umbrella, and a lot of wrestlers in WWE now have representation through there. So I don't know if he's filmed something already, but I think he is tabbed for a movie. So he's doing other stuff. But he's the one who went to the Daily Mail a couple of weeks ago and was venting frustration with his position in the company. And you don't know how much of that has worked. You don't know how much of that is his real feelings. But I just feel like, without getting in his head, how can he not be frustrated, right? So he's just kind of been spinning his wheels now, him and Dawkins, for so long. And now we're seeing a harder edge to them. Lately, the last few weeks on SmackDown, it's interesting. One of my favorite periods in WWE was the end of 96 into the beginning of 97. Like you mentioned, the Rumble from 97 a few minutes ago. Everybody was angry, right? You had these core of like 5 guys. You had like Bret, Shawn, Austin, Vader, and like Undertaker and Sid. 5 or 6 guys. And it was all about the championship, but they were all pissed off at each other. And I kind of got a little bit of that vibe, not exactly the same thing, obviously, but I got a little bit of that vibe from the tag team stuff on SmackDown, because you had Tommaso Ciampa come out, and he's, interfering in the match, beating everybody up, and he's shoving Johnny Gargano down on his ass. And then you got the Street Profits when the Machine Guns went up to them after and said, look, we had nothing to do with this. And then Dawkins shoves Alex Shelley down on his ass, and Montez Ford, he didn't exactly restrain his partner. There is an aggression there, and it's all centered around the tag team titles, where Tommaso Ciampa is obsessed with getting those belts back. They never got their rematch after they got screwed out of them by the Bloodline. And he's pissed off that these guys came into the company and basically jumped the line and took their spot. The Street Profits are also pissed off because they haven't been tag team champions in over 4 years. And again, you have this new team that just came in and basically cut the line. Everybody's angry. And I just wish they had a couple more solid teams right now in the mix in that division, because I still think it's very shallow. But if you had 1 or 2 more teams, you'd have it's already kind of it's getting interesting, but you would have a really interesting situation now, all built around those titles. So I'm all for the aggression that we saw from Ciampa and from the Street Profits, and it's quite the difference when you look at the Machine Guns, and it's like they're just like a couple of white meat baby faces, like, oh, we're just happy to be here, oh, you guys are great wrestlers, and we're going to defend the titles again. They even had me sitting here going, man, just beat the shit out of these guys, And
yeah, we want to wrestle the best that the WWE has to offer, man.
We want to wrestle the best that we have in this company. Like, put these guys in the ground, Like, I would have been fine with the Profits beating them, for the belts on Friday, and then the Machine Guns just have to, they have to struggle to get back into the hunt. But things are starting to heat up in that division. I just wish the division had a little more depth to it.
I've been saying this for the last few weeks on my end. You know what I would do? I don't know if there's going to be a supplemental draft, a trade of some sort, but I would absolutely move American Made. I know we discussed this as well. American Made over to SmackDown. Chad Gable over there on SmackDown, have him go after the U.S. title. It fits the whole group. It fits the name of the group. Go after LA Knight. Have that be the U.S. title match at WrestleMania. Have Gable win the United States Championship. The Creeds, move them over there. I know. It's
Gable winning a match? Well, are you feeling okay?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Listen, man, I'm trying out for the comedy show.
You and Sidra, you get Sidra a run for his money there with the comedy.
The Creeds may be going into the tag team division. I think them versus DIY or the Profits or Machine Guns would be great. I think they need a new coat of paint for sure. Them on SmackDown would be great. I even said call up Fraxium. Call up Nathan Frazier and Axiom from NXT if you want to call anybody up. Fill that division. I don't know if that is going to happen or those are the steps WWE's going to take. I don't really know. But yeah, I agree with you. And you mentioned the feeling around those core top names in 1997. I got that same feeling when we watched that off-the-cuff promo with McIntyre, Punk, and Rollins in March, where McIntyre gave Punk that line. You don't do drugs and you don't drink, but you always find yourself to be in rehab for some reason. I felt that moment there. I felt that was the type of energy those three were given as well.
Which is still like the greatest line I think in a promo all year. Like I love that so much. And then of course Punk came back with the Vince McMahon crack and
We are in an Ontario center, and we're here to activate the space and make it available for the community. We're going to bring pickleball court, we're going to bring sports, we're going to bring restaurants, maybe a hockey rink. We really want this center to be serving the community, and we really want to empower every single tenant to be successful in this building. I'd like to invite every entrepreneur in Mansfield and Ontario to this building. I want to talk to you. I want to see how we can add value to you. I want to see how we can grow your businesses. So please comment below or contact us on our website on www.theontariocenter.com, and I promise you'll get the best service and get the best response and best value in town. I'll wait for your response right here.
Growing up, I never really knew my grandfather's name.
I joined Ancestry and I was able to find his World War II draft card, and it had his name on it.
It connects people, it connects locations, it connects time. It gives you so much more information than just what you're expecting.
And McIntyre didn't know how to react to that. He didn't know what to say. So yeah, it's just, we haven't had those types of vibes from promos in a very long time. So I think I look back fondly on that period, and you know, that led into the Attitude Era. But yeah, I mean, what's going on right now with tag stuff on SmackDown, it's finally starting to get real interesting there. So we'll see where that goes. As far as the Street Profits, heel turn would be fine with me, but not necessary. I do think that they have to win at some point. Like, I came into the SmackDown show on Friday feeling that way, and then when I saw the finish they did, I said, all right, well, at least they left it unresolved. They didn't just beat them again. How many more times can these two guys get beaten before they're just done for? Like, how many times are you going to beat the Street Profits until something either win or something happens? So I do wonder at the end of all this if they get the belts, because I see what they're doing with Ciampa. Ciampa now is unhinged. Now, I want to bring this up, because I think I heard you say something about you are hoping, and maybe you're expecting that we're going to get Ciampa and Gargano, and they're going to split them, and it's going to be like Black and Gold all over again. They had that great feud in Black and Gold. And I look at this and I say, I don't think they're going to split up. I just think that he's going to bring Gargano down to his level. Not that they're going to split up. And why would you split them up? As if the tag team division doesn't already need more teams and have, you know, a lack of depth. Are you really going to split up DIY right now?
Well, I mean, it is kind of silly to break them up, but
it's very silly to break them up. Yeah, you don't break them up right now. There's plenty of time to do Ciampa and Gargano next year if you want to. Breaking them up right now is the last thing I would do, and I don't think that's going to work out well for at least Gargano. Maybe Ciampa. Ciampa is somebody I could see maybe taking the U.S. title from LA Knight. I could see that, because Ciampa's a great heel. Right now, it just feels like the wrong time to even think about doing that, which I think it sounded like you were either talking about that or considering it. I wouldn't do that. I think that would be the wrong move.
Yeah, I replied to Backup Hangman on Twitter in regards to something he said. I don't remember what he said. I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but congratulations to him, by the way. He's going to be on Fightful's Raw review on Monday with Sap, so good on him. He mentioned something about Ciampa and Gargano, and I'm like, nah, bro, we got to break them up. You know, let's do Black and Gold, Ciampa versus Gargano. And then he came back to me, and he made a good point. He's like, you know, why rehash something that's been done in Black and Gold? And then other people chimed in the same thread. A lot of people don't realize what that was and how great that was. Maybe Triple H wants to do that on the main roster. I was having fantasies maybe about Ciampa and Gargano being one-on-one at WrestleMania.
Well,
I mean...
Yeah, fantasize all you want to, though. But see, here's the thing you're missing when you say that. The reason it worked in NXT is because both men were established, right? I mean, they were over. They were two of the biggest stars in NXT. They are far from that on the main roster. So the best thing for them to do would be to remain together. And you could always split them up down the road, but these guys are nowhere near over at the level that they were in Black and Gold, and sometimes it's easy to forget about that. You got to put that context on there. So I know, you know, in your mind, you might fantasize about it. Oh, it was great there, and you can replicate it on the main roster. These are two guys. They're not in the same position that they were in. They were in a small pond, and now they're two small fish in a big pond. And I don't know if they'll get back to that level one day as individuals, but they're not there now. So you can't split them up. That's the wrong move to make. I would have Gargano come around. and, agree with Ciampa. And that doesn't mean they have to be heels. It could just, like the Street Profits, it could just be that maybe they're tweener. Maybe they just have a harder edge to them. But that's what I would do. I wouldn't split them up. I just think that would be stupid.
Well, I do hope for better tag team wrestling in WWE, or at least some more depth to the divisions, because I do think both of them are severely lacking. I'm looking for the War Raiders to take the titles of Judgment Day. I think we need a fresh reset on Monday night, some new teams, some new blood over there as well. I mean, I could talk till I'm blue in the face about merging the divisions and one titles. I know Jason said last week that would never happen because that would be them admitting defeats. So I would like to see them rectify that. And if we start to build some solid teams with issues and tension, I think that's a great start, because we haven't even been getting that. Not even in AEW, where tag team wrestling was flourishing for so many years. We don't even get that over there. We weren't getting that in WWE, so hopefully that is the catalyst for change. At least that's a good starting point.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they're headed in the right direction finally with this, and it's starting to